Hey, so if you're new to university, you've probably felt this weird disconnect, right? You look at your calendar and it seems wide open, especially compared to high school. But somehow you feel busier and more behind than ever. The real challenge, it turns out, is managing all that unstructured time. So let's dive into how you can absolutely master it.
Here's what we're going to cover in this explainer. First, we'll talk about this thing called the university time void. That's the root of the problem. Then we'll look at 3 super common traps that students fall right into. After that, we get to the good stuff, the one big mindset shift that changes everything, a 4-step plan to make it happen, and finally, what success and real balance can actually look like for you.
All right, let's get into section 1, the university time void. This is all about that huge, kind of jarring shift from high school, where every minute was planned for you, to university, where your calendar is suddenly, well, a blank slate.
I mean, you've totally felt this, right? You have a class at 9 a.m. and your next one isn't until 2 p.m. That's a 5-hour gap. In high school, that time would be filled. But at uni, the game is different. Your professors only have a few hours a week to throw these huge ideas at you. The real learning, that happens on your own time. The big question is, what are you doing with all of it? And when you don't have a specific plan for that time, it's so easy to fall into some really unhelpful patterns. This brings us right to our next section, 3 common study traps that can totally sabotage your success if you're not careful.
First up, we've got the burnout. You know this person. They think the only way to get ahead is to just work, work, work. They're hitting the books every evening, all weekend with 0 breaks. They ditch their friends, their hobbies, their health, all because they think more work is better. But here's the thing. The goal isn't more work, it's effective work. And this path, it almost always leads to just feeling exhausted and forgetting why you even started. Okay, trap number 2. I call this one the disappearing day. This student means well, they really do. They plan to study between classes, but without a specific goal, that time just evaporates. A quick coffee turns into an hour-long chat. A 5-minute look at social media becomes 45 minutes. A single YouTube video leads to, well, you know. Before you know it, the day is gone, the work is piled up, and you start thinking, maybe I'll just skip that next class to catch up. And that, my friends, is a vicious cycle. And our third trap is the collector. This student is a pro at gathering information. They go to every lecture, download every PowerPoint, save every link. They treat class like a shopping trip for knowledge, filling their cart with materials for later. The problem is, later never really comes. They don't actually engage with any of it. They're passively collecting, not actively learning. And when the exam finally looms, they open that folder and are just completely crushed by the mountain of stuff they have to get through. So, the burnout, the disappearing day, the collector, how do you avoid becoming one of them? Well, this is the turning point. Section 3 is about the one simple but incredibly powerful idea that fixes all of this, the full-time job mindset. And here it is. This is the whole secret. Successful students treat university like their full-time job. Just let that sink in for a second. It's so simple, but it is a massive shift in how you see things. It's not about just showing up to class anymore. It's about taking total ownership of your 40-plus hour work week. So what does that actually mean day to day? Well, it means you approach your studies like a professional. You plan your week with a real purpose. You break down giant assignments into small, specific goals for each study block. And this is so important. You optimize your work hours to be super efficient so you can actually get your work done and still have a life. Okay, the mindset is one thing, but how do you actually do it? That's what section 4 is all about. We're going to walk through a super simple 4-step plan to build your own professional academic work week. But first, we need a little reality check. The numbers do not lie. There's a rule of thumb in university that for every 1 hour you're in class, you should plan for 2 to 3 hours of study time on your own. So let's do the math. If you're taking a typical 5-course load, that's 15 hours in class, plus another 30 to 45 hours of studying. Add it all up, and suddenly you're looking at a 45 to 60-hour work week. Yeah, that's a full-time job and then some. So here's how you build your schedule. Step 1, map out your fixed commitments. Put all your classes, labs, and tutorials in a calendar first. They're non-negotiable. Step 2, calculate your target study hours using that rule of thumb. Know your number. Step 3, and this is the game changer, start plugging in 1 to 2 hour study blocks into your calendar, especially in those empty gaps between classes. And finally, step 4, schedule your life. Seriously, block out time for meals, for the gym, for friends, for just having fun. That time is just as vital as study time.
And that brings us to the payoff, our final section: success, balance, and you. After all this planning, what's the end result? What does a finished schedule actually look and feel like?
The result is a schedule that actually works for you. It gives you protected time. Your evenings can be free. Your weekends can be yours again. You have time blocked out for good food and for exercise. See, this whole thing isn't about having no life. It's the exact opposite. By being intentional with your work time, you create and protect your free time. It's about building a well-planned life. And the payoff is absolutely massive. You actually stay on top of your work instead of drowning in it. Your stress and overwhelm, they go way down. You have protected time to be healthy and to have fun, so you completely avoid that burnout trap. And what happens when you do all that? You put yourself in the best possible position to crush your academic goals. It basically solves for all three of those traps we talked about. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. You don't have to completely change your entire life tomorrow. Just look at your calendar for this coming week. What is one small change you can make? What's one study block you can schedule to treat your education a little more like a job and protect a little more time for yourself?